It's such a pleasure to talk to you. I'm very excited to dive into your new single, which is amazing. Before we get into that, though, here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. Where'd your passion to be a musician kind of come from? Then, wanted you to pick up the guitar? Was a certain album, certain performance, certain artist, or something that was just natural for you as a child?
Yeah, I always loved to sing. I just remember I was at a family gathering and I was just belting Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer from the balcony. I was like, ooh, I like to sing and I have an audience. And I got a little bit of attention, so kind of created a monster from that. But it wasn't really until I heard Avril Lavigne until I just became obsessed and was like, I don't just love to sing. I have to do this. I have to be on stage. And knowing the music I like now, I don't really even know how it happened because it was the song Complicated that like made me a musician, but I don't even love that song that much. Like it was her other songs that really got me, but that was the first song I heard of her and it was just all over from there.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I see a little Avril influence, but you definitely can shred the guitar, which is pretty amazing. Is there any other
Yeah.
like guitarists that like you look up to, you know?
Oh man, it was so funny. Like, just being the little pop rocker I was starting out on like Avril and Green Day. And I was like, oh, cool, guitar is easy, playing like three power chords. And
Oh, I
then
love
I
Green Day too,
heard,
yeah.
oh, they are amazing. But I heard Crazy Train one day. And that
Oh
intro, I was
man.
just like, what is this? What is this magic? And then the solo came along. I think I had to like scoop my jaw off the floor. And I was like, okay, I have to play that. I think it took me like a year to learn that solo. But after that, it kind of created a little guitar monster too. And especially like seeing the attention I got when I played the solos, just because people are like, oh my God, girls don't play these solos. And I was like, oh, they don't? You want to bet? So
Yeah, I think that's
I'm
really
guitar
cool.
obsessed. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your new single "Elastic" is such a great song.
Thank
Let's
you.
get into the writing process first before we get into the epic music video. So, when did you start writing? Like, I always was fascinated by the writing process for musicians. I know it's different for each one. Do you kind of like come up with the lyrics first and kind of like a riff to match that, or riffs and then the lyrics? You know?
It's kind of all over the place for me.
Mhm.
Elastic was a set writing session. So I was in Nashville visiting my team, and
Mhm.
whenever I have a writing session, I always beforehand come up with a list of song titles, just of things that might resonate, just to get some ideas. And I had Elastic, I had Rubber Band, I had Elastic Love written down. And
Mhm.
at the time, I had just gone through kind of a rocky relationship that never actually even ended up being a relationship. But it's like, kind of like, what are we? Like one foot in, one foot out. And then, I'd pull away, he'd come back in, he'd pull away, I'd come back in. It was just like an elastic band. So that's kind of where Elastic came from. And, when the relationship was good, it was really fun. So I really wanted to bring in that fun, upbeat sound into it so it would represent the fun times. And for other writing sessions, like when I don't have one set, usually I just start hearing melodies in my head and I'll go with it. Sometimes I'll
Mhm.
hear lyrics. I know a lot of people write the music part first, but I'll get like a melody or some lyrics in my head and have to find some guitar that goes to it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the music video is so great.
Oh,
I
thank
love
you.
the intro part. It kind of reminds me of like the Michael Jackson black and white one,
Oh,
when he did
yes.
that. And is whose hamster is a hamster, I assume, right?
That
Was
is
that
my
yours or some?
baby Gucci. He
Ah,
he is the love of my life. He's a rock
aw.
star. I pretty much call it his music video because let's be real here. He's a rock star and I'm just his sidekick, right?
I love how he plugs in the guitar for you.
He is the best roadie ever. He chews the cables sometimes, but other than that, he's great.
Yeah. Very cool. What was it like shooting in the desert where you're like on like the little motorcycle thing? That must have been really fun, or
That
and
was
maybe
the
terrifying at the same time, you know?
That was the best thing ever. So the director of the video, his name is Hunter McCann. He's amazing, and he was like, "Oh, you could do like aerial stunts. We gotta do something really cool. what about like standing up on the back of a moving motorcycle while you're playing guitar? I'm like, that sounds terrifying. I'm in. So for that scene, it was crazy. We wanted to start shooting at the very first light. So we got up around 3 a.m, drove to the desert, and we're there by sunrise. And we had a Sprinter van with the doors open, and the camera was actually in the van. So I would be on the back of the motorcycle. He'd start driving, and I'd give a thumbs up to the van when I'm ready, secure, got the guitar, and the music would start playing, and then I would just go for it. And I was terrified, but it turned out being my favorite part of the video. Like, Hunter was a genius with that one. It was such a good idea.
Very cool. We mentioned the aerial one too. It's like this like Hagen, like I guess giant ring and stuff. Like was any like fun stories behind that? I mean, that must have been like terrifying and awesome at the same time.
Oh man, well, I was a gymnast growing up,
Oh,
competitive
gotcha.
gymnast. So you could not keep me off of a trampoline. I was always doing flips off of everything. And I stopped doing gymnastics so I could do music. My mom was like, you gotta pick, you can't do both. So music won. I think I made the right choice. But
I think so too.
my first time on stage, like I was doing splits just because I could do it. And gymnasts are crazy. Like you can't keep us from doing a split. So I had a guitar in my hand and started doing the splits. And the audience was like, oh my God, that's so cool. So that kind of just, fed the beast per se.
Oh, I
And
love that.
yeah, I would try other tricks. And when I moved to LA, I actually tried a circus workout class. So it was just like some sort of fitness class, but they had all the aerial equipment. So they had a big hoop. And it reminded me a lot of gymnastics. So I was pretty good at it from day one. So whenever I'm good at something that's visually cool, I'm like, how can I add my guitar to this and just put it into a show? So I actually had a little guitar strap that went around my waist. The purpose of the strap was like to keep the weight off of your shoulders, just so you don't have any
Ah.
injuries. So I was like, oh, that's safe. Let's make this really dangerous by trying to hang upside down with it. And it worked. The guitar stayed in place. I didn't hit myself in the head, and Shrednastics was born, as I call it.
Shredastics. I love that. Let's that should be like your next album title or something.
Totally.
I love that. Probably my favorite part of the music video is like, I guess you're like a ER and they're like trying to revive you, but then they give you the guitar and it's like, bam! It's like, yeah, music has that power. So
It does. It
yeah.
does. Oh man, that was really fun. That scene was really cool too. Like we shot that in the dining room, and
Oh really? Wow. I would have never
yeah,
guessed.
like on a blow up bed, and it was just, I can't believe just how amazing that scene came out. And like it was set up in like half an hour, and I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, there's a hospital room. This is incredible. Like the whole team on this music video was just the best.
Very cool. Everyone should check it out. It's available on your YouTube. Another thing I saw on your YouTube was you recreated the famous Guns N' Roses November Rain solo, which I absolutely love. I love it, just like a little stand-up
Oh,
like church. But you also recorded it live in the desert too. How did you do that? That's pretty amazing.
so recently I started learning about Logic and Pro Tools and all of the recording systems. So I have a little interface, and I've got some guitar plugins, so I can just plug into my interface and just have any guitar sound. It still doesn't beat a live amp, but you can record and hear yourself and play live in the middle of nowhere, which is so cool. And it kind of opens up a whole new world of like creative videos, because I could be in the middle of the desert playing a solo in front of a giant cutout church, or I could be like on top of a rock, and it just like appeals to the crazy performer side. So it's like anywhere, anytime, music video, go.
Gotcha. All right. Well, what's the future hold for you? Is there anything you're allowed to talk about? New music or anything down the road, or maybe live shows since that's starting to come back slowly?
Yes. So I have a new single coming out on June 25th. It's
Mhm.
called Diamonds Are Coal. Gucci is starring in this video.
Yeah.
I can,
Nice.
it's straight up his video. I'm just in it.
I
So
love
he's
that.
gonna be rocking out. It's another pop rock song with just epic guitar solo, because every pop song needs a guitar solo. I just
Hell
gotta
yeah.
say that now. Um, And it's really cool. It's got some upbeat rhythms. It's got some really cool guitar work. It fits in with elastic, but it's still different enough. The church from the Guns N' Roses video may or may not be making an appearance in that. But yeah, I'm really excited for live shows to be coming back. We just filmed a live band video of all of the new songs yesterday, and just being back live performing and just full on performing with people is just so incredible. It's like one of those things where you don't realize you're taking it for granted until it's completely gone. And
Oh,
then,
absolutely.
oh
Yeah.
man, it was so good yesterday. I woke up this morning, I was like, can I do that again? Like every day? That was amazing.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear the new single. In the meantime, everyone check out Elastic, amazing new pop song with a great shredding solo. And check out the music video, like I said, for November Rain, where it shows you how you plugged into
Yeah.
Logic right in the middle of the desert. I think that's so cool.
Oh,
So,
so good.
yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time to talk to me, and we'll talk down the road for future music. All right.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.